Welcome everyone to Citi Field for tonight's National League East matchup between the 10-12 Washington Nationals and the 14-10 New York Mets. The Mets enter tonight's game in first place in the NL East, also having won the opener between these two teams by a score of 4-3 last night. Taking the mound for the New Yorkers will be Tylor Megill. Megill off to a good start this season, posting a 2-0 record with an ERA just over 3. Megill, in his third year, has shown some promise in his appearances in the major leagues and hopes to be really kind of delivering on all of the potential that he has had as a prospect through the years. Stone Garrett, the center fielder, will lead us off for the Nationals, and we are underway from Citi Field as Garrett grounds the first pitch he sees to short. Jeremy Pena gobbles it up, throws over to Pete Alonso at first for the first out of tonight. As we take a look at the National lineup, not a ton of impressive averages there. Joey Meneses hitting a touch over 300 in the 3-hole, but otherwise 200 and below. Jaimar Candelario hitting cleanup is hitting 368 over his last 10 games. So we'll see if he can keep that kind of hot streak going as Alex Call, the designated hitter, stands in. Call, like many Nationals, is a second-year player, and he'll swing through a slider. Good pitch by McGill there for the second out of the inning. In fact, all three hitters that we have seen so far as Joey Meneses stands in are second-year players. Stone Garrett, he played last year with Arizona. Alex Call is in his second year, and Meneses is in his second year as well. Quickly, he finds himself down 1-2 in the count.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good take there by the Nationals' first baseman as he looks at a slider outside. The 2-2 changeup is grounded to second. Tommy Edman grabs it, throws over to first. And the Nationals are out 1-2-3 in the top half. We head to the bottom half with score Met 0, Nationals 0. Taking the hill for the Nationals tonight will be Trevor Williams. Williams, no stranger to Citi Field as he played 2022 with the Mets. And he's off to a great start, posting a 4-0 record through his first 4 starts. He's only walked one batter in 26 1/3 innings, so against a New York team that likes to grab as many base on balls as they can, we'll see how that plays. Jeremy Pena will stand in to lead us off, and he'll look at a 89-mile-an-hour fastball low. Williams always one to rely much more on his command than any velocity. If his fastball touches anything above 90, I think we should all be impressed as an 88-mile-an-hour fastball misses inside. He does touch 91 with his next fastball, which is popped to center. Stone Garrett moves over to his right and puts it away. As we take a look at the Mets starting lineup, the usual fare here for the home team. Some impressive power numbers up and down the lineup. Every starter has at least 1 home run, and Chas McCormick is the only one who doesn't have multiple homers. Although you do notice Pete Alonso hitting only 180 there in the 3-hole. So Buck Showalter and company have been working with Pete in the cages and trying a bunch of different things, little tweaks, little mental exercises, trying to break the slugger out of his slump as Tommy Edman swings over a sinker. Edman will take a curveball inside. He started to swing a little bit, but was able to check his swing in time. And Edman is fooled by a changeup. I think the Mets are going to have to dial back their aggression here against Williams today, because he is not going to be burning any pitches into the strike zone. So a good chance to kind of take a deep breath and be patient as Alonso looks at a strike. Alonso does have 4 homers and has a decent on-base percentage of .311 despite his 180 average. Plenty of walks for Pete. As he chops one up the middle, looks like a seeing eye single, and that's exactly what a struggling hitter needs. So the Mets are on the board for the first time today. Alonso didn't put great contact on it, but put enough for it to go up the middle, and the seeing eye single found its way into center field. So the Mets have a 2-out hit. Hitting cleanup tonight will be Francisco Alvarez. The The rookie catcher is first on the Mets with 25 hits, 5 of them via the long ball as he swings through a sinker. Fastball misses low to Alvarez, so the count will go to 2-2. Alvarez designated hitting tonight as Will Smith handles the catching duties. Those two like to switch on and off with that role. As Alvarez will take a fastball inside, so the count works full. Alonso will be in motion with 2 outs. And another fastball misses, this one outside. So the man who has only walked 1 hitter through 26 and 1/3 inning walks 1 here in the first. Will Smith will have a 2-out RBI opportunity with Alonso moving into scoring position. Smith lines 1 to third, but Candelario is there. He put the barrel of the bat on it, but a bad luck break there for the Mets and their catcher as they are retired in the home half of the first. We head to the second, still tied at 0. Candelario, the man at the hot corner who ended the bottom of the first with the ball in his glove, will lead us off here in the top half. He'll take a fastball high and a circle change low to work the count full. And then a 97-mile-an-hour fastball blows right by him. Candelario is retired for out number 1. And he'll give way to Luis Garcia. Garcia hit .275 last year and is off to a similar start this year, hitting .279 through his team's first 22 games. He's going to ground 1 to Edman. Edman handles it easily, throws over to first. And the 4th-year second baseman is retired. Corey Dickerson, longtime veteran who's played in both leagues and bounced around from team to team to team. He's going to try and keep the Nationals alive here in the second. He's going to line 1 to second right at Edman. Edman kind of goes on his tiptoes a little bit and makes the play. So good contact by Dickerson there, but not enough to get past the Mets second baseman. We head to the bottom of the second. Your score is still Mets 0, Nationals 0. Brett Beatty will lead us off. Beatty comes in hitting .286 with a pair of homers. Good on base percentage. He's walked 7 times. And has himself in a position to potentially walk again. And he actually swung a ball 4 there and fouling off a slider. A good movement by Williams seemed to fool Beatty. So 2 foul balls later. We'll do the 3-2 again. Beatty's going to ground 1 to first. Joey Meneses handles it without any trouble. And the Mets leadoff man in the second is retired. Chas McCormick spelling Adolis Garcia today in left field. McCormick has been on fire in his last 4 games, hitting .444, and overall is hitting .327, so a great start for the new Mets left fielder. Mets acquired him from Houston along with Jeremy Pena. McCormick's going to put a charge into 1 to left center. Stone Garrett has to move back almost to the warning track, but he'll make the play. Good contact by McCormick, but it's an out nevertheless. As Evan Longoria stands in. Longoria is going to lace 1 up the middle. That's going to head up into the gap and maybe get all the way to the wall. It will. Garrett tries to cut it off and overruns it. Longoria, without the greatest speed in the world, is going to have to stay at second. So a 2-out double. Longoria's 6th of the season has the Mets in business here in the second. He was all over that pitch. Did not miss it. And the sinker didn't fool the veteran 1 bit. So Leody Taveras will have the Mets' second 2-out runner in scoring position opportunity of the day. He'll have an opportunity to drive in a run in front of him here as he swings at a sinker low and then fouls away a 1-2 fastball. Changeup misses low. Good take for Taveras there. One of those classic low in the zone changeups that looks like it's in the zone the whole way and then darts out of it. He'll foul away the next changeup. Taveras not usually known for hitting the ball over the fence, but he's already got 3 dingers so far this year. So the Mets certainly won't complain about that as he takes another changeup, this one way outside. So good at bat for the Mets center fielder. He's worked the count full. And he swings at a 3-2 sinker that looks like it was outside the zone. Luis Garcia handles it easily at second. And so the Mets squander another 2-out hit. We head to the third, still tied at 0. Keibert Ruiz will lead off the third for the Nationals. Ruiz acquired from the the Dodgers not too long ago. One of very few Nationals who signed for a long time, and he signed through 2030 as he swings through a fastball. So I suppose it's always possible for players to get traded at the drop of a hat, but assuming that he stays put, he'll be here a while. As Jeter Downs will fly one to right. Beatty has it all the way, and he'll put that one away. Lane Thomas, trying to keep the Nationals alive here in the third, will chop one to third. Longoria grabs it, takes a couple steps to his left, and throws on to first to retire Thomas. So 3 up, 3 down once again for Tylor Megill. We go to the bottom third, still scoreless. Top of the Mets order will lead us off. Jeremy Pena looks at a changeup low. Pena has shown a penchant for hitting homers in the early going this year, already with 5, including 2 in the Mets home opener, as he swings through a fastball up. Changeup inside just misses. The 3-2. He got him. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Decent location, but especially with 2 strikes, Pena probably should have been protecting there. So he'll head back to the dugout with a called 3rd strike in his back pocket. As Tommy Edman stands in, Edman will take a fastball inside. Good hitters count here. Edman's going to put decent contact on a slider that was hung. It was pretty much middle as far as sliders go, but much ado about nothing as he rolls over to Garcia. So it looked like he squared the ball up decently, but just didn't go anywhere. That's not a good sign. But Pete Alonso, who singled in his first at-bat, will try to keep the Mets alive here in the third. Pete will check his swing on a changeup low, and he did not go. Swing away Pete does on the next pitch, which is a fastball that was about 10 inches off the plate inside. Nevertheless, he swung through it, and he'll swing through another pitch, another fastball up. So the Mets go down with a whimper here in the third. We head to the fourth, still scoreless. Stone Garrett will pop the first pitch he sees up to center. Leody Taveras has it all the way, and he'll put that one away for the first out of the fourth. Alex Call, next up. He'll go down looking, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Pretty good location there for Megill. So the young righty continues to cruise. And Joey Meneses, he will ground the first pitch he sees to short. Pena handles it easily, over to Alonso at first. The Nationals go 1-2-3 in very quick fashion. We head to the bottom of the fourth, still scoreless. Francisco Alvarez will lead us off with a strikeout. The Mets are nothing if not consistent. So 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the fourth. Will Smith will foul away a slider. Again, I think the Mets need to just take maybe a couple deep breaths and just kind of let the pitches come to them. They seem very aggressive right now. And against a pitcher who does not bring the heat, as Will Smith pops one up. That can get you into a lot of bad counts and produce a lot of weak contact very quickly. So Brett Beatty will try to keep the Mets' hopes alive here in the bottom of the fourth as he looks at a sinker low. Both pitchers matching zeros so far. The Mets have a single from Alonso and a double from Longoria. And not a whole lot else. Alvarez walked, and Beatty just walked. So Williams has doubled his base on balls output through 4 innings that he had the entire season up to this point. And the Mets have worked his pitch count decently high. This will be his 79th pitch here with 2 outs in the 4th. So for someone who's humming along, he is, if nothing else, laboring a bit. And true to form, the Nationals do have a couple guys going in the bullpen. As Williams misses up and misses low to McCormick. So suddenly, the veteran right-handers become a bit erratic. Chas McCormick has a 3-1 count, and he misses inside again. So another walk handed out. It's actually 6 straight balls from Williams. And all of a sudden, the Mets have 2 men on here with 2 outs in the 4th. Ooh, Longoria took a big cut at a changeup. But like so many other Mets hitters tonight, he was way out in front. So the count will be 1-2. Slider, good take. Truthfully, with 2 strikes, I don't know how he took that, because that ball was in the zone for 99% of its journey. Then it dove out. But another changeup fools Longoria. He swings and misses, and Williams works himself out of some danger. We head to the 5th. Still no score.
Nope, that's the ball.
Heimer Candelario will lead off here in the 5th. And he is going to put an end to any hopes of a no-hitter, perfect game, or otherwise. He's going to bloop one to right center. That one falls. So the first hit, first base runner for the Nationals. And we talked earlier about Candelario possibly keeping his hot streak going, and it may not have been roasted off the bat, but it is still a hit. Luis Garcia will take a changeup low, and all of a sudden McGill finds himself in a bit of trouble here in the 5th with the first 2 men reaching. So a visit from the pitching coach will hopefully settle down the third-year righty for the Mets as he misses inside again. So Corey Dickerson's got himself in a favorable 3-1 count. And he'll slash one into left. That's a base hit. Runner around third. Candelario's going to try to score, and he does. McCormick doesn't throw very well. So the cutoff man is not able to get the throw home in time to get Candelario. All of a sudden, the Nationals, after having no base runners for the first 4 innings, not only have a run, but are threatening for more. The runners are, oh my goodness gracious, the runners were off with the pitch. They would have been out by a mile, but Alvarez sailed his throw into left, or excuse me, Will Smith. Not an E2 stat line that you see very often. All the runners are safe. The runner from second comes around to score, and after Ruiz grounds out to second, the Nationals now lead 3-0. So a disastrous turn of events for the Mets. I'm not really sure where Will Smith's throw was meant to go. I think maybe he was caught off guard. I certainly was, by the fact that the Nationals tried a double steal. Jeter Downs will stand in and fight off a couple pitches before blooping one to right. Beatty is able to make a shoestring catch to retire him. And Lane Thomas will ground out to second on the first pitch he sees. So McGill is able to finish the inning decently, but 2 hits and 3 runs later, the Nationals have a 3-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th. And it is indeed the end of Trevor Williams' day, as Joan Adon will stand in. Adon throws about 10 miles an hour faster than Williams, so the Mets will have to readjust here. Leody Taveras will lead us off with a walk in the bottom half here of the 5th. Taveras runs well, so it's possible we see him steal, but down 3 runs, I imagine he'll probably just stay put. As Jeremy Pena grounds one to short. Diving stop there by Jeter Downs, but he has no play. So that one is justly ruled a base hit, and the Mets have their first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 5th. Tommy Edman will stand in, and he'll bloop the first pitch he sees to left. Tough play there for Dickerson, but he makes it. Makes the catch before running into the left field wall. So a big first out for the Nationals there. As Pete Alonso will step in. He is also facing a 3-2 count. There have certainly been no shortage of those so far today. And Alonso looks at a called strike 3. Tough pitch to take there. Well-located fastball right on the corner of the zone. So strike 3 to Alonso, a big second out there for the Nationals. As Francisco Alvarez will stand in, he's going to bloop a curveball deep to right. Lane Thomas is chased all the way back to the warning track, but he'll settle under and make the play. So leadoff walk and base hit go absolutely nowhere. The Mets strand 2, and we head to the 6th with the score still 3-0 Nationals. First pitch from Stone Garrett's going to be grounded to third. Longoria handles it easily and retires the Nationals leadoff hitter. Alex Call will look at a circle change strike. Please pardon any audio issues that we might be having as Call looks at called strike 3. A cat seems to have gotten into the studio and is meowing away as they do. So if you hear any of that, our apologies. Joey Meneses will stand in, look at a slider outside, then take a circle change for a called strike 2. And Miguel tries to blow a fastball by him, but he is not successful as the Nationals' first baseman is all over that. He lines the 2-2 pitch to left for a base hit. So the Nationals have a 2-out hit. Heimer Candelario, who started this whole mess with a bloop single last inning, he's going to stand in and go down swinging at the hands of a 95-mile-an-hour McGill fastball. So McGill is through 6. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Nationals protecting a 3-0 lead. Looks like Buck Showalter's going to get a couple arms going in the pen. Joey Cantillo, the left-handed option, and Trevor Rosenthal, a right-handed option, both start to loosen. I don't know that we'll see either of them immediately, but I think Showalter just wants to prepare himself for all possible contingencies as Will Smith lines a splitter foul. Another splitter, good pitch, diving just to the bottom of the zone, but Smith gets a piece and fouls it away. Smith gets another splitter, and this one he's going to golf into left, base hit. So a single for the Mets there. They still have yet to, with the exception of Evan Longoria's double, they've yet to put really good contact on any pitch they've seen from the Nationals so far tonight. They do have a couple of hits, but a lot of seeing eye singles and bloops. So you got to hope that one of these hitters can run into something and square one up. Brett Beatty takes breaking pitch low and then a fastball for a called strike 2. So the count's 2-2 to the Mets right fielder. 3-2 fastball misses low. On deck, Chas McCormick, his .321 average. Beatty's going to chop one to first, and this looks like, oh no, could have been a double play, but Downs mishandled it, so they do get the out at second. But what was probably going to be a double play instead just becomes a fielder's choice, so the Mets catch a bit of a break there. As Beatty ends up on first. McCormick looks at a fastball outside. So he walked in his last at bat, and he's in a good count to do so again, potentially. He will not as he flies one to center. He'll move Garrett all the way back to about a step and a half in front of the wall, but he's going to make the play. That one did not look as deep as it went off the bat. Not a bad effort there. McCormick squared it up pretty well, but as has been so often the case of late, day late and a dollar short. Kyle Finnegan and Carl Edwards Jr., two righties, get loose in the Washington bullpen as Longoria looks at a splitter outside. Another pitch misses. This one a fastball low. So 3-1 count to Longoria. 3-2 fastball is golfed into right. And that one is going to only be a single. Good work there by Lane Thomas to cut it off. And he throws really well. So he hums one in to third. Keeping Will Smith and, well, now Brett Beatty right where he's at. So Leody Taveras will stand in, take a fastball inside. Taveras represents the tying run. He will take a fastball right on the outside black. Excellent pitch there by Adon. So we have another full count, and with 2 outs, the runners will be in motion. They're off with the pitch. Chopped up the middle, but Adon fields it deftly, throws over to first, and the Mets squander another rally. It's still 3-0 Nationals heading to the 7th. Luis Garcia will chop the first pitch he sees to first. Alonso handles it. McGill covers. And the pitcher fielding practice that we always hear about in spring training pays off for the Mets as they record the first out of the inning. McGill's pitch count is getting up there. He's at about 110 right now. That was his 111th pitch just now. So I imagine if he has a clean inning, Buck might let him fight through it, but if he gets in trouble, the hook will probably be quick. Dickerson has worked the count full, and he'll chop a 3-2 pitch to second. Edman handles it, throws over to first for the second out of the inning. Kybert Ruiz is the Nationals' last hope here in the 7th. He'll look at a changeup for a called strike 2, and then foul away an inside fastball. 1-2 is a changeup that misses low and outside. And Ruiz will foul away another pitch. I wonder if McGill, being a little tired here, doesn't have quite the same giddy up on his fastball as he did earlier. The 2-2 to Ruiz is a called check swing strike 3. Ruiz could not hold up. Just as soon as I criticized the giddy up on McGill's fastball, he blows it by a National. It's stretch time. Road team still leading 3-0. Thaddeus Ward will take over for the Nationals. He's got a 5.40 ERA and somewhat limited work so far this year. He'll miss with a sinker inside to Pena. Pena stands and watches a 98-mile-an-hour fastball fly by him. He starts his swing way too late. So if the Mets weren't familiar with Ward's game, they better be quickly, because he's throwing some humdingers in there as Pena fouls away a 2-2 offering. Pena did single in his last at-bat. Tried to check his swing and did on a slurve that had a whole lot of movement. So he works the count full. And then Pena laces one up the gap in left center. That one is off the top of the wall. I don't think he can come any closer to hitting the ball over the wall without actually doing it, at least in left field. Pena has his 5th double of the year. The Mets have another leadoff hit. And let's see if they can cash in at least one run here. Goodness gracious, that was maybe a foot from going over the wall. So Pena did a nice job there, squaring up a decent pitch. 3-2 sinker that was inside. As Tommy Edman stands in, looks at a slurve outside. Edman's 0 for 3 on the day. Chases a 2-1 sinker that pretty much ended up in the dirt. And then fouls away a cutter. Ward with no shortage of pitches. Slurve, sinker, cutter, and a 4-seam fastball that can touch 100 miles an hour. He goes with the sinker and misses inside to Edman. So the count goes full. And 3-2 Edman's way inside. So the Mets second baseman works a walk. And all of a sudden the Mets do have the tying run striding to the plate once again. But this is the first time it's been in the form of Pete Alonso. Alonso takes a slurve outside, so the Mets have yet another walk. And Francisco Alvarez will come up and face a new pitcher. Erasmo Ramirez will take over for Ward, the suddenly erratic Thaddeus Ward. Ramirez has only worked 2/3 of an inning and appeared in one game so far this year. But he's the choice nevertheless, with the bases loaded and nobody out to Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez fouls away a sinker. He seemed very keen on swinging for the fences there. And Alvarez will ground one to short. Downs boots it. Everyone is safe. That was probably a double play ball. This is the second problem that Downs has had in the past couple of innings that's cost the Nationals a double play. So big error there. The Mets catch a break, everyone's safe, and all of a sudden it's 3-1, bases still loaded, still nobody out. Will Smith will look at a cutter for a called strike 2. Smith only hitting 190 this season with runners in scoring position, but did get a single his last time up. Smith will lace a 2-2 pitch to right. Thomas is there. Smith had great contact, but the runner on third will tag and score. So the Mets cut the deficit to only 1. It's weird. The Mets have gotten pretty lucky with some of these ground ball botchings, but they've also gotten kind of unlucky in that Smith, he smoked that ball. That could have easily been up the gap. Quite frankly, it could have easily been a grand slam as Beatty lines one to third. Heimer Candelario makes a jumping catch. So it wasn't hit extremely well, but could have blooped in, and instead it's an out. And the second out of the inning for the Nationals here. Oh, as Chaz McCormick chased a 3-2 pitch outside. That's a bad at bat in a clutch spot. The Mets do scratch across 2 runs, but the Nationals maintain their lead as we head to the 8th. With the score still 3-2 Washington. Looks like Trevor Rosenthal will take over for McGill. Rosenthal has pitched well this year. 8 1/3 innings with an ERA just over 1. He misses up and in to Jeter Downs with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, so not wasting any time introducing himself there as Rosenthal misses with a changeup low. Downs will foul away a 3-1 fastball, so we'll go full. And the 3-2 fastball will be fly ball to center. Taveras settles under it and makes the play without much difficulty. Lane Thomas will step in. Thomas made a big catch in the bottom half of the 7th to keep the Nationals in the lead in what could have been a bases clearing double. He has worked the count full and will ground one to second. Edman goes to a knee and makes a sliding play. Throws over to first. Good glove work there by the Mets' versatile second baseman. Stone Garrett will step in with 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th. Garrett 0 for 3 so far today. And 0 for 4 as Rosenthal blows a 99-mile-an-hour fastball by him. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Nationals still lead 3-2. Another new pitcher will take the hill for Washington. As Kyle Finnegan takes the bump. Finnegan, in 3 1/3 of innings of work so far this year, has yet to allow a run. He brings the heat, certainly, with a sinker that can touch 100 miles an hour. But he misses with 2 sinkers to lead off the inning to Longoria. So the Mets' third baseman works another walk. And I think the Mets have gotten the leadoff man on in, maybe the last 4 or 5 straight innings. And usually it's led to nothing as Taveras can't check his swing on a nasty slider inside. So the count goes to 1-2. And Taveras just looks helpless as a beautiful sinker dots the corner of the zone. Taveras swings through it way too late. And the Mets center fielder is retired. I can easily see why Finnegan has not allowed a run so far this year, because his pitches have a lot of movement and a lot of ride on them as Pena swings over a slider. Slider misses outside. Oh, front door slider catches the inside part of the zone for a called strike 3. Pena's second time caught looking today. That one you kind of tip your cap to. It's easy to wring your hands on it or on a hitter strikes out looking and say, swing the bat. That pitch was disgusting. Tommy Edman will take a sinker low, so he's got a full count. This will give Longoria a chance to be in motion. If Edman can get one up the gap, this could tie the ball game really quickly, but he can only stand there and strike out. So the Mets squander yet another leadoff runner. We head to the top of the 9th. Score still 3-2 Washington. Looks like Rosenthal is going to stay for his second inning of work, at least right now he is, as Alex Call swings through a slider, then pops a fastball to left. McCormick settles under it and has it all the way. So Call is retired. Joey Meneses will stand in. The first baseman rocketed a ball to left in his last at-bat, but has otherwise been kept quiet. He's going to bloop one to right. Beatty gets a bad jump on it, but is able to recover in time and make the play for the second out of the inning. So it's all up to Heimer Candelario.
Nope, outside.
Candelario looks at a changeup outside. And then he's going to smoke a fastball deep to right. That baby's gone. Off the upper deck scoreboard. 370 feet, almost 95 miles an hour off the bat. And for a team that had yet to really put much in the way of solid contact on the ball the entire game, that one came out of nowhere. So a big insurance run for the Nationals as they extend their lead to 4-2. Rosenthal is going to get Luis Garcia to ground to short. Pena handles it and retires Garcia for the final out of the 9th. But Heimer Candelario continues his torrid stretch as of late and doubles the Nationals' lead. Kyle Finnegan will give way to Hunter Harvey, who similarly possesses a lot of pitches that go pretty fast and go all over the zone. Harvey wastes no time in striking out Alonso for a big first out here in the bottom of the 9th. Francisco Alvarez will step in. Alvarez has struggled today. Did reach on a walk in the first, and was lucky to reach base last inning with what should have been a double play that turned into an error, but has otherwise done pretty much nothing. He'll take a fastball outside. And then look at a called strike 3, four-seam fastball. Pretty good location, but Alvarez probably should be swinging there. And all of a sudden, the Mets are down to their final strike as Will Smith stands in with a 2-2 count, and he strikes out. Fitting conclusion to a frustrating game for the New Yorkers. Their first loss against a National League East team so far this season. And a game that they'll hopefully not look back on in late September or October and say, man, that was one that really cost us. But just a game where they pitched decently and just had one bad inning and then could not string a rally together to save their lives. So credits to the Nationals for capitalizing on their opportunities and making the Mets pay when they could. The Mets will try to win the series tomorrow with their ace Justin Steele taking the hill. But that's it for us. Thank you for joining us as always. We'll see you again soon. The final from Queens. Washington 4 and the Mets 2. Have a beautiful evening.
The final line score for the ball game tonight. For the victorious Washington Nationals, 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. They left just 1 runner on base. For the Mets, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. They left 12 men on base.